Good morning, Maple. To my calculations, this should be Monday morning. So I hope you've had a lovely weekend. Again, I'm recording this on Friday still, so I can't tell you about mine, but I will do tomorrow. But one thing I will tell you, I just popped out into my garden and I saw something that I don't ever recall seeing before, and it was a butterfly. Okay, nothing unusual in that, you might say, but it was purely black. Not one splash of other colour on it, not a red dot, a yellow stripe, nothing. So that was quite a cool thing for me to see that. I actually took a photograph of it, and if I knew how to upload that onto here, I would do to show you. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. So let's get back to Al in chapter 43. I'm standing there, and without any warning, I start sobbing. For the poor cat, still alive, curled up in the box. Then I hear a noise behind me, and I swing round just in time to see a shape dart from behind an upturned fishing boat that's been dragged up onto the shingle. I should, of course, be more cautious, but I reckon that if someone is trying to avoid being seen by me, then they're probably not a threat. "Hello," I call softly. "Who's there?" No reply. I walk over to the boat and look around the side. Crouched down, facing away from me, is a boy in a blue satin bomber jacket. This was the kid they were calling Chow. He doesn't turn round. Instead, he says, "I didn't mean to. Honest. They made me do it. Macca made me do it." I'm looking down at him and I realise that this kid is the owner of the girl's voice I had heard. Slowly he emerges from his crouched position and stands up to face me. His eyes are red and wet, and he's still half cowering away from me, like he expects me to hit him or something. "Are you the one they were calling Chow?" I ask. He nods, a short bob of his head, and that's when I know. There were plenty of other clues I could have picked up on. The darker skin colour, the high voice, but it was the short nod of his head that was so familiar to me. At that point, it would have been really dramatic if I had fainted on the sand or something. I'm getting a feeling here. Do you think you know who it might be? I think I might know. Sorry, at this point, it would have been really dramatic if I had fainted on the sand or something. You know, rushed up to him and given him a big hug and said, "Daddy, my daddy," like the girl at the end of the Railway Children. But that would have been completely weird, apart from the fact that it is simply not how I felt. I read once in a newspaper about a lady who was in a boating accident with her husband, and at the moment she realised he had died, she herself was trying not to drown, and she became super calm and started planning his funeral in her head. I suppose I felt a bit like that, but at the same time, the next words I speak are pretty much whispered. "Are you Pai Chaudhry?" I ask. "How do you know that?" Well, we can't possibly leave it there, Maple, can we? Chapter 44. That isn't a question I am about to answer quickly, at least until I can think of a plausible lie. And there isn't any thinking room in my head right now. It seems like the available space is taken up with the new knowledge that this skinny brown kid in the satin bomber jacket is my very own father. The man who kissed me goodnight, who told me stories about when he was growing up. And I'm just standing there like a half-wit, looking him up and down, for I've no idea how long until he says it again. "How do you know my name?" With a real effort of will, I forced myself out of my daze. Instead of answering his question, I created diversion by saying, "Hang on, is that them coming back?" I look up at the bank at a family walking along the top. It's pretty weak, really, but it works. Pi ducks down and looks up cautiously. "No, not them. So how... Come on, what are we going to do with this poor cat?" We look at it for a bit. I can see it's breathing because its tortoiseshell fur is moving up and down, but I can also hear that it is gasping a bit. and there is a little bit of blood gathering at the bottom of the box. I have not given away my mobile phone to some mad boy just to watch a cat die in front of me. Mr. Fraser, says Pye, he's a vet. With that, he bends down and picks up the box. Come on, then. I had not known that Mr. Fraser used to be a vet. In my time, he's old and retired. As Pye trudges through the dry sand ahead of me, carrying the heavy box, I'm free to stare at him. He makes little noises as he breathes out through his nose, tiny little grunts of air with each exertion. It's not something I remember my dad doing, and yet the sound is oddly familiar. Step, step, and I'm following, watching and listening, and then I know why it's familiar. It's because I do it myself. Hearing him sounding so much like me, even when he's just breathing, really starts to freak me out a bit. So I say, give me the box, and I catch up with him and take it off him. What's your name? Al. Al? Al what? I have thought about this. Sing. Oh, okay. Hi. Sing is a pretty neutral name. You can't tell anything about a person from the name Sing. Well, not really. It was given as a surname to people ages ago by a Hindu guru who wanted all his followers to treat each other equally and not be snobby because of their names. So people of all types can be called Singh. Chaudhry, however, that's a bit posh in India. Not always, but sometimes. I just wanted something ordinary. Where are your parents from? He says. I thought about that too. My mum and dad were born here. My grandparents have gone back to live in Punjab. Speak any Punjabi? It was funny listening to Pye. He pronounces Punjabi in a really Indian accent, like Punjabi. Oh, that was probably pretty poor. Sorry, Maple. Nope. Well, Satsira Akal is hello. That's about it. So how did you know my name? Hang on, I want to know why you nearly killed this cat. I'm scared of what the answer may be, but I have to ask it for my own peace of mind. I do not want to think that my own dad would do that sort of thing willingly, so I'm hoping he's going to give a good answer. Pye chews his bottom lip in a gesture that I know well from Dad, and mumbles, I didn't. Macca did. Are you sick in the head or something? You were about to hurt that cat. What do you want to go and do that for? Like I said, they were making me. Oh yeah? Who made you? My friends. Your friends? We are now at the top of the slipway down to the beach and about to cross the seafront road. What sort of person hangs out with people who like to tease animals? This comes out much harsher than I intended, and Pye glares at me. I know I've touched a nerve, but I also know I've gone too far. His chin is trembling, and he looks back at the beach. You know what? This is none of your business. It's got naught to do with you. Now you can just go away. And with that, he puts the box down, turns and starts, running back down the slipway to the beach. Wait! Hang on a minute! Wait! But he's still running, and I'm now running after him. Only when he reaches the soft sand does he slow down and turn back to look at me, by which time I'm quite near to him and I shout again. But he turns to run. I'm desperate now, cursing my big mouth. But all I can do is to try a spurt of speed through the dragging soft sand until I'm close enough to launch myself at him in what is definitely the only successful rugby tackle I have ever made. Arms around his thighs, and down we both go, with a thud. I'm on top of him now, and he's struggling and wriggling at the same time to get away from me and shouting, Get off me, get off! I've got Macca on you. And he's shouting so much that he can't even hear me saying, Oh, I'm sorry, all right, I'm sorry. I just keep repeating this, and his arms are pinned to the sand by my sides, and my head comes over level to his. I look hard into his brown eyes and say again, I'm sorry. He can tell I'm not going to hit him or anything. He stops wriggling. I climb off his chest and we sit side by side on the sand for a while, panting. Eventually Pi says, Macca's not so bad. He used to pick on me loads, but he doesn't now, and I prefer it like that, okay? I can see Pi's eyes are starting to moisten, and I figure that there's more going on here than I can see. I like him and the others, all right? I'm not convinced, but I'm thrown off guard when he says, with a harder edge to his voice, Now tell me, how do you know my name? I think that's a good place to leave it, people. Have a lovely evening. I hope you enjoyed that, and I will catch up again with you tomorrow. Okay, take care. Bye.